Go on now, go.
Walk out the door.
Just turn around now.
Because you're not welcome anymore.
Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye?
Did you think I'd crumble?
Do you think I'd lay down and die?
Oh, no, not I. I will survive.
Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive.
I've got all my life to live.
And I've got all my love to give.
And I'll survive.
No, you won't. Shut up. You lost. Get over it. So last week just whizzed by. Sorry, flew by. We had hearings, protest hearings, but then a leak.
It is shocking. Classified documents presented last week to President-elect Donald Trump, including allegations that Russian operatives claim to have been compromising personal and financial information about him.
Thanks, Don. Now, there's stuff in this dossier we can't get into, especially if you have children in the room. It's why I hate children. They ruin everything. The summary claims Russia has compromising info on Trump, which involved kinky sex with bodily fluids, none of which I've ever participated in, including that time in Berlin when I was a struggling model being passed around like an hors d'oeuvre at leather clubs. I was broke. BuzzFeed's defense, since reporters already saw this stuff, why can't you? Holding it in would be criminal because BuzzFeed are such hard-hitting journalists. Yeah, right. Go to BuzzFeed's homepage. You find so many examples of fine reporting, like these. Selena Gomez posed kinda nude, and it's pretty hot. 12 amazingly delicious ways to eat more mango. It's a fruit. 19 practically impossible questions for every Kardashian fan. You must admire the bravery in their pursuit of truth about mango. So in a tribute to BuzzFeed's brilliant method of framing garbage into stories, here are 7 reasons why BuzzFeed should not have run the dossier. Number 1, none of it was verified because fact-checking is hard, and BuzzFeed is too busy finding pictures of melons that look like Kim Kardashian's ass. 2, it was opposition research, not intel, meaning it was meant to be titillating, like a BuzzFeed article featuring melons that look like Kim Kardashian's ass. Number 3, the disinformation had been around forever and no one touched it. It was like the last hot dog at 7-Eleven. If you eat it, you own it. And you'll probably crap your pants after. Number 4, the idea that Trump would have hookers defile a bed because President Obama slept in it, that sounds like a fever dream written by Sean Penn on a mescaline bender. Seriously, if you believe that, you also believe Bill Clinton is faithful and Lena Dunham is talented. Number 5. Number 5, BuzzFeed never ever would have published this if it were about Obama. Number 6, BuzzFeed never ever would have published this if it were about Obama. Number 7, BuzzFeed never would have published this if it were about Obama. I needed to get to 7, but I ran out at number 5. But it's true. Could you imagine any outlet running this smut about our adorable lollipop-coated ray of sunshine that is President Obama? Hell no, you'd lose your job, reputation, and friends. You'd be lower than Anthony Weiner's scrotum. Now, this is not to dismiss Russia's efforts. Gathering smut on people is their thing. You might very well have stuff on Trump. I'd be shocked if they didn't. They have stuff on all of us, including me. It was back when I was in shape. See, Russians have their fingers in everything. How else can you explain what happened? And this really happened on MSNBC on Thursday.
You hear General Mattis today, Mike Pompeo, the CIA director, almost swearing that they're going to be hardliners on Russia.
That freaks the out of me. It's real. It actually happened. And so, in summary, our president-elect isn't even president yet, and we already got the best sex scandal ever. This is going to be a great ride. All right. Let's welcome tonight's guests. He's so shocking, his jokes give you static cling. Anthony Cumia, host of the Anthony Cumia Show. She's so adorable, kittens purchase coffee mugs with pictures of her on them. Carrie Keagan, host of Bravo After Hours, and she's got a great new book called Everybody Curses, I Swear. The air freshener in his car is an actual pine tree. TNA wrestler and Fox News contributor Tyrus. And even when she's walking on sunshine, she complains about burned feet. National Review reporter and Fox News contributor Katherine Timpf. All right, Anthony.
Greg.
My favorite part of this whole scandal or non-scandal is that you keep getting to say the word dossier.
Yeah, it's like an old spy movie.
Exactly.
But a little wetter.
Yes. And what would you call this movie if it were a Bond film?
Oh, my God. The spy who came in from the...
bathroom?
Yes! Very good, thank you. Whew, I was hanging out there.
I know. I thought you might say GoldenEye. But anyway.
That's a good one, too.
What? All right. Carrie, I have to say that I think that President-elect Trump's explanations for dismissing this were so sound. The fact that he said he's a germaphobe and that there are cameras in every room, I thought that was smart because it made sense, right?
What? Sure.
Yes.
Yes, that's my defense every time.
Yes.
You guys have seen those leaked tapes, right?
Yes.
It's scary what they can find on you now.
Yeah. What do you make of these developments?
It's all fascinating. This whole thing is really fun to watch. Like every time he opens his mouth, it gets more and more interesting.
Yes.
I think it's going to be a really fun 4 years.
I think it really is. 8 years. Because there's no way. After Tyrus, after just 1 year of this, we're going to say this is the greatest thing ever.
He's going to be 16 years, probably. And wow, somebody has something on Donald Trump. I have something on Donald Trump. Everybody in here's got something on Donald Trump. And he says the same thing every time. Kiss my ass. He don't care. He don't, what else you got? He probably threw the sheet back at the FBI. That's it? That's all you got?
All right, Kat, would you have, if you were running BuzzFeed, would you have run this dossier because it was being passed around, everybody could see it, the reporters and politicians see it? Would that have been an excuse?
No.
No?
People had seen it. Even don't publish something if while you're publishing it, you're saying there are serious reasons to doubt that this is actually true. They thought it was funny, but it doesn't really matter. Even if it were true, I still don't think people would care that much.
Right.
Because when Trump was running, the people who opposed him were saying he's Hitler.
Yeah.
So when people are concerned about you being Hitler, you liking to watch people really isn't that bad.
I think it's interesting when you have people applaud over something like that. Anthony, okay,
Brilliant.
You know what I love about the BuzzFeed thing is the transparency excuse. We ran this to be transparent. No, they ran it because it was interesting. It's like when we did the Anthony Weiner story. We didn't do it because it was about politics. Right. We did it because
we wanted to say Weiner on TV as much as possible.
Exactly.
It's a titillating story. It's interesting. It's wacky. It's like an urban legend. You want them to be true.
Yes.
Everyone wants this to be true, but let's be real. Come on.
I'm okay with it not being true.
I'm cool too.
Yeah, but you know,
it's like the Richard Gere story that everybody heard, but there's no documentation of it, at least that you can find. Because I've been looking.
Gerbil testimony.
Yes. There'll be a hearing next week on that. But there are so many flaws in this. The one thing that blows my mind is in this dossier, they talked about a Michael Cohen, I guess, meeting with Russians or something in Prague. And they didn't stop to think, okay, they go, that's Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen. No, there's probably 100,000 Michael Cohens in the world.
My lawyer, doctor, and accountant are all Michael Cohen.
There is a little bit of hypocrisy here. We have to point out that even though BuzzFeed is trafficking in this rumor and innuendo, so did Trump. I mean, let's be honest. National Enquirer was on his side the entire time, publishing weird stuff about
But that
Hillary.
was all true.
No, but I mean, and also, I mean, he did the birtherism and stuff like that. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. However, I still think it's hilarious.
Yes.
So
it will go down as hilarious.
It will go down
in
as
history.
hilarious. By the way, do we have time for? Let's show just to welcome Ms. Keagan to the show. I think this is the first time you've been on our
no.
show, right?
Don't pinpoint me now. I'm scared.
No. I think we have.
It's the first time I've been here since you have an audience.
I know. Isn't that exciting?
It's really cool. You guys are awesome.
And on that note, you compliment our show. I shall compliment your recent appearance on The Apprentice.
Oh no.
Carrie, you're terminated. Now, get to the chopper.
Wait, I'm sorry.
I know.
Sorry.
That is
Sorry.
the strangest thing to
Wait a
say.
minute,
Get
wait a
to
minute,
the
wait a minute.
chopper. What is this,
This-
like that scene, wood chipper for the
Wait a
scene
minute.
from Fargo?
That's the catchphrase?
Yes, get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
I love but also I love their faces now. They're just all, everybody's like this. It's almost as like you got the death penalty.
Well, the two of them were crying in the scene before. I was the only one like, oh my God,
You
this
won.
is happening.
You know why you won? Everybody on The Apprentice got paid the same, but you worked for 2 days. They are still working.
And it's the worst catchphrase.
Yes.
It's from the movie.
But it's the one movie, Commando? All the catchphrases?
What do you want him to say? Your
Commando?
clothes, give them to me
Is
now.
that because that movie's not in circulation anymore?
He
You're
did try
terminated?
Hasta La Vista. He did do You Won't Be Back.
Yes.
He did a lot of different ones.
He doesn't have the same writer anymore.
Boy,
Clearly.
his
Get
hair
to the chopper.
His hair is not looking good either.
Get to the chopper.
Like,
That's going to go far.
all right, we got to move on. Coming up, a week of confirmation hearings, and what have we learned? I learned that when he's wearing his glasses, Jeff Sessions looks a lot like Ben Franklin. So there were lots of hearings this week, and they were nothing short of thrilling. But the real story that seems to be flying under the radar is an outbreak of a contagious disease on Capitol Hill. Experts are calling it acute conferencitis disorder. It inflicts its victims during serious congressional testimonies.
Have opposed the closing of it, but as Attorney General,
Several minutes later, it struck again. There were nearly a dozen outbreaks over the course of the week. In some cases, the patient was unable to stand.
Fascist regime prevented from ruling. People should flood into the streets of D.C.
In other cases, the illness seemed to cause a cognitive disorder where the patient assumed an entirely new identity and was unable to be controlled. Oh my goodness. The patients were removed and brought to the hospital for treatment. This disease has befuddled the medical community. It is unclear how the virus is spread. Some say it's airborne, but some claim it could be caused by stupidity. Doctors so far have been prescribing showering and getting a day job. It seems to be helping. We reached out to the CDC for further comment, and they said, "Who are you? And please stop calling." Meanwhile, the hearings did go on despite the medical emergencies, and many of the cabinet nominees faced hard-hitting questions. However, the toughest questions came from the junior senator from New Kansas. Let's take a look.
So, Senator Sessions, before we confirm you for this important post, I need to know, do you feel like it is incredibly inappropriate that Scott just completely stopped texting me back instead of telling me what I did wrong so that I could have closure and grow from the experience?
My view, as you and I have talked, is that you're correct about this.
Yeah, but you have also said that I didn't have a right to be mad, even though I could see that Scott had been liking Jessica's Facebook posts.
Somebody else can disagree, but that's what I think.
Even though I have literally heard her say that Curious George is better than Alf, It is the story of an adult man in a yellow hat who only hangs out with a monkey.
But what I was getting at was that this is a continual problem and will continue to be a problem.
But don't you think it's possible that I'll find love in 2017?
I don't accept that statement.
I do like your honesty, Jeff. I think you should take my number. It's 555-5555. Ooh, are you writing it on a cocktail napkin? Old school, nice. It's very Mad Men. I like that. You should call me.
Awful. She's an awful person. All right. Carrie, I can't help but notice there is when you look at the protesters, they're all kind of alike. They're like their own worst argument.
Are you saying they look like my family? Is that what you're saying? This is going to get very awkward.
Do you have a lot of protesters in your family?
No. Maybe.
Yes.
Like, I mean, anybody that does crazy things, they always get called out as being psycho.
Yeah, that's true.
So they make on either side, doesn't matter what side you're on, when you do stuff like that, you look stupid.
Yeah, you do look stupid. There seems to be more, but I don't know why there are more protesters on the left. I would say that it's because they have more time maybe to do it. But, you know, these are people who can't even persuade their own parents that they're right. That's why they're yelling at people. And by the way, what are they protesting about? What has he done, Anthony?
He really hasn't done anything bad as of yet that I see.
Yes.
I fully expect him to at some point, but that's just part of the fun and allure that is the Donald.
Yeah.
The protests are ridiculous. They've protested every step of this along the way. They've spelt out Trump's demise every step of the way, and he continues to be amazingly Trumpian.
Yeah.
But I don't see how this works. What's their last thing is probably just rush the guy holding the Bible at the inauguration. Like just something, the last ditch effort, the Hail Mary. Just rush him.
You know, I want to play, this is one of my favorite answers. General Mattis was asked another identity question from a Democrat, and his answer was great. Do we have that?
We have to stay focused on a military that's so lethal that on the battlefield, it will be the enemy's longest day and their worst day.
Do you believe that allowing LGBT Americans to serve in the military or women in combat is undermining our lethality?
Frankly, Senator, I've never cared much about two consenting adults and who they go to bed with.
Tyrus, it's like, I call this political Adult Swim. All the children have gone to bed, and now you just have the grown-ups that are scary and know things.
And going back to the protesters real quick.
Yeah.
What if somebody said, stop, let him speak? Everyone quiet, go ahead.
They would...
I'll just go.
Yes. I didn't have anything planned.
It's Hollywood's fault because in every movie, let him speak. And then he speaks, someone goes, you know, I never thought of that.
Yes.
Boo, Trump. He's right. It's the same. It never works. But I'm cool with him. And whatever, they put him in 12 positions in the cabinet, I'm good with it. That was a great that was a great answer.
Yeah.
That was a great answer.
No, I mean, Kat essentially says, you know, the Army isn't about I don't know, re-educating society on ideas of tolerance. It's about killing. It's a lethal death machine. That's what it does. And it's about time that somebody decided not to play that game.
Yeah, absolutely. But they have to play that game always because that's really all they have in a lot of these situations. The Army, they need to focus on protecting me. If they want to be jerks in their personal life while they do it, then that's okay. A lot of people are jerks in their personal life that do nothing useful.
Yes.
So if you're focusing on that, then I hope that if you're ever under attack, you'll say, look, all the people that could have been here to protect you were all a bunch of jerks. So
yes.
I guess you're on your own.
Yes. You know, we got a surgeon to operate in your heart who believes in tolerance and identity, but he was the worst surgeon in the entire medical school.
Yeah.
All the other surgeons were
the best surgeon
they were the best ones.
The best surgeon
they were
in the
paying
world,
attention.
Yes.
They were studying. The other guy was at rallies. So I'm going to go with the jerk. Do you have the rest of that film where after she asked him the question, she just looked at her? Well played.
Yes, exactly. No, it's like don't go don't go to a doctor who, when he was in med school, was going to diversity training. He was operating on cadavers.
Solid C student.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so
crazy.
refreshing to see an answer like that because for years we've just seen political babble.
Yeah, exactly.
So long.
Exactly. Because they're old guys who don't give a damn. There's something to be said about being old and cranky and.
I can't wait.
Oh,
I can't wait. I can't wait to
set this up for you later. This is not about you in 20 years.
I'm saying 10 years. 10 years. No, it's true. It's like I just want to. I would have gone in my bathrobe, and I would have held a rake, and I would have waved my rake. Those kids, get out of here!
Get off my lawn!
All right, up next, a tail so tall you'll need a stepladder. Except you, Tyrus. But first, President Obama's goodbye. What will he do next? I could see him getting into politics. It is the end of the reign for a man named Hussein. The melodrama over Mr. Obama, as the president leaves office in under a week, has reached a fever pitch, and the left can't hold itself together. In his farewell address to the nation, the president cautioned us about living in a bubble.
Increasingly, we become so secure in our bubbles that we start accepting only information, whether it's true or not, that fits our opinions, instead of basing our opinions on the evidence that is out there.
Sure, he says that now when his term's over, and he's been thinking about this bubble a lot. In fact, before the farewell speech, he admitted to living in the bubble.
The bubble's the bubble, and I think we've done a pretty good job staying in touch with the American people, but at a certain point, you can't help but lose some feel for what's on the ground because you're not on the ground. And
you didn't think Donald Trump could win?
Case in point.
That's right. He didn't see a Trump win coming. And that's not all. Remember when he said ISIS was a surprise?
The ability of ISIL to initiate major land offenses, that was not on my intelligence radar.
Great. Given that this will be our very last show with President Obama as president, we thought... Most applause ever in this studio. Anyway, we thought we'd pay a tribute to him with what we believe are President Obama's greatest moments.
As you know, there is a growing disrespect for government. Thank you, and good night.
I got a little confused. All right. Kat, what do you make of this whole bubble talk, and what do you think President Obama's going to do next?
Well, I didn't really watch the farewell address because I was reading all the pee-pee tweets that were going on that night. BuzzFeed totally accidentally took the attention away from him.
That's true.
It totally did.
Yeah, it completely, again, Trump overshadowed.
Yeah, the bubble talk, it's something that's easy to say. Of course he's still in a bubble. What's he going to do? I could see him giving a lot of speeches.
Yeah.
He's good at that. He's very good at giving speeches. Mm-hmm. He's very good at being a dude that everyone loves, but he's not okay with not being loved, which is why he didn't really follow up on a lot of things he said he was going to do.
Interesting. Tyrus, what do you make of his exit? Where do you see him going?
First of all, boo. And if for nothing else, Obama showed that the White House is for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So for
Good
that,
point.
give me that. In his speech, I think, and the one thing that he's good at is, and a lot of people, I don't blame the Republicans for the issues in his presidency. His own party hated him. And he's... They're back. Hey, you said it could be done. Could be done. But his own party undermined him constantly, and I think they were jealous, and they didn't have... And the fact that he was stuck working with Hillary, why would you let... The one thing Donald Trump does very well, all the guys he fought with don't work for him.
Yeah.
And Obama had to make deals with people who despised him. And that's why the Democratic Party is the way it is. That's why it lost House seats. It's very dysfunctional. And he's going out on his red carpet, and he's doing his thing. He's saying goodbye. And hopefully, I hope he goes off into the sunset and enjoys and just gets away from it. You know, I really, just go away. Just Bro, go away. Please. I love you. I love you. But,
Carrie?
go away.
Do you have any suggestions of where, what President Obama should do next?
Suggestions?
Yeah, Carrie.
Sure. I think he and I should do a talk show together.
There you go.
You should never get a word in.
I think you're right. He's a fantastic speaker. He should be doing a lot more of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not for soaring rhetoric, Anthony.
That seems to be what it is. He's a professional politician. We had become so sick and tired of it that we elected Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
Tired of it that we were. Also, I don't think the White House is for everybody. Al Sharpton was invited into the White House numerous times. If there was one person that shouldn't be in there, they should have dropped him off at the IRS building down the street for not paying his taxes. That's another thing.
So Al Sharpton is the worst dude ever to be in the White House. When I said for everybody, I meant everybody of color, creed. Obama opened the door for everybody. So
I understand what you meant.
Yeah, take that over there.
And if he's going to Chicago to live, he's going to need a Kevlar bubble because that city's out of control.
You know, I think
he's done nothing about it, or his buddy Rahm didn't do anything about it either. Yeah.
CD-ROM, as I like to call him.
CD-ROM.
Hey, you know, I think President Obama, he's young enough to play himself in all the movies that will be made about him. There's no need to get an actor to play him because he's still youthful. Or he could turn it around and he could play Will Smith in the Will Smith story.
Oh, wow.
Huh? What
Could you imagine him reading a script, though, verbatim about his history as president and going, this guy's a like he can't see it unless he steps away and looks?
Yes, perhaps.
Perhaps.
On that note, still to come, Tyrus roams the halls and bumps into a major Fox News host who's now in traction. But first, are robots electronic people deserving a full set of rights? I vote yes, just so they don't strangle me when I sleep.
If you'll be in the New York area and would like to be part of our studio audience, email Greg Tix at foxnews.com.
It's about time for Optimus Prime. As I predicted ages ago, robot rights are now a thing. A European Parliament committee, i.e. men in powdery wigs, has proposed granting legal status to robots. The idea is part of a wide-ranging report on how humans can stay in control as artificial intelligence expands in the coming decades. Under the law, quote, the most sophisticated autonomous robots could be established as having the status of electronic persons with specific rights and obligations, including that of making good any damage they may cause. Translation, robots may kill your entire family, but at least they'll have to pay you back. The report also calls for a kill switch that humans could use to shut down a robot at the slightest sign of trouble, like when your robot has too much to drink at a party. All right, laugh, Anthony, but that's how they're pretending to be fallible. They're pretending to be adorable. They are waiting for the moment to rise up because they're going to have recursive self-improvement. They're going to get so smart and so smart, we will be the barnyard animals. We will be the chickens to them, and they will treat us like chickens.
That'd make a great movie.
Yes, it would.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I love technology, love this whole robot thing, but they're a lot more dangerous to us than we are to them.
True.
I don't think they need rights. They're ratting us out in our own homes. Everything that you talk to at home can rat you out.
Yes.
I don't like that. And if they have rights, I'm like, I made my toast a little light this morning. My toaster called me a racist.
Yeah, that's...
Now I have to be tolerant to my appliances. This is wonderful. Wonderful world we're in.
I never thought of it that way. Carrie, people keep thinking that everybody's going to have robots so they can have sex with them. I don't think that's what's going to happen because people will feel uncomfortable about robots that look too much like humans.
No, Okay, first of all, have you all seen Terminator?
Yes.
Because we all know how this ends.
Yes, that's how it's going to go.
It's going to go terribly. And obviously we are using them for sex until they then get so powerful that they turn around and use us for sex. And then they figure out that we're just humans and we can't satisfy them.
Right.
And then this whole thing starts over again because then they're going to create sex toys. And this whole cycle is just going to keep going. That's what's happening.
No, they're going to start dating large trucks. Because all the robots will be size queens.
I'm against any of that mixing of machines.
Not surprised.
It's never going to change.
Tyrus, I'm worried. You know I'm worried. Do I have a right to be worried? Are you worried?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the catchphrases are going to change. Man, I got downloaded last night, bro. It was great. I wouldn't give, as far as the sex thing goes, we wouldn't give them rights if we're going to have sex with them, because then they could say no, or they could talk about you never hold me, or you never change my keyboards, or you never talk to me afterwards, and you always go to sleep and have a bowl of cereal. You're like a chubby panda, like all that stuff once they have rights. So what? I'm just assuming what a computer would complain about. As far as marriage, I mean, then you got to marry them.
Well, you really thought this through.
Hi, it's Tyrus and my Xbox. You know, I never take her anywhere. You know, it's just bad. No rights. Just no rights.
Well, you seem like you've been beaten down by an imaginary robot lover already.
Oh, she's not imaginary.
Kat, I know this is where you are going to belittle me for my concern, but I believe I have been proven correct so far. I predicted that they were going to have rights, and now they are.
We can't give them rights.
Why?
Because I have this huge problem where I really want to hire someone to clean my apartment.
Right.
But I don't want another person in my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So this is perfect. But as soon as we start treating them like people, it's all over. My microwave is awesome. I love my microwave, but I don't say I love you when my popcorn's done, you know?
Yes.
We can't give them rights. They're not people.
Well,
They're not people.
All right, okay. Remember that, because 40 years from now, at the robot tolerance museum, they're going to play that. They're going to play that at the robot tolerance museum. They're going to go.
And by the way, at the statue will be a picture of me and my Xbox.
Yeah.
And a bunch of joysticks.
This is a woman named Katherine Timpf.
No,
this is what she said. They are not human.
No, we have to belittle them to keep them down. That's a very effective strategy.
I don't know.
You know, the microwave actually does say enjoy when the time is over, and it's the most insincere enjoy ever. My appliance, again, telling me to enjoy something.
But you know what? It's because you're separating intelligence from consciousness. They're actually smarter than we are because they don't have to feel, and that's why they're going to be superior. All right, still ahead. Me at your place later tonight with a bottle of wine. But first, back by no one's demand, it's the Katalogue, your cornucopia of cheerfulness.
Welcome back. Greg fell asleep. I'm Kat. So the inauguration is just a few days away, and there's bound to be plenty of protests in D.C., which is fine. Take a personal day for something you're passionate about. One time, I skipped work to follow B.D. Wong around all day. But a group called the National Women's Liberation is encouraging women across the country to go on strike for inauguration weekend. Strike, meaning no work, paid or unpaid. So women are pledging to not go to their job, not clean the house, not take care of the kids, and not wear makeup. First of all, that's gonna do nothing. The inauguration is happening, guys. It's happening. And let's not pretend it's some heroic act to not wear makeup. On New Year's Day, I woke up looking like a woman who had just been ripping lines of meth in a rest stop bathroom, but I still went out and got a bagel without alerting the Huffington Post. Speaking of things I'm tired of, do we still have to describe oversensitive safe spacers as snowflakes? Isn't that insulting to actual beautiful snowflakes? I don't care that these people think they're special and unique. The problem is they expect people to give a crap, which snowflakes never do. In fact, spoiler alert, snowflakes don't talk at all. At least not to me. Believe me, I've tried. I dated that guy for a little bit. And finally, the dumbest thing I saw this week. The Independent called Ryan Gosling's Golden Globes acceptance speech sexist after he thanked his wife, Eva Mendes, for taking care of their family while he was filming La La Land. Look, I'm a single woman, and I would much rather spend my Sundays at brunch than at Teletubbies on Ice. Also, Tinky Winky is very likely a serial killer, and I am terrified that he will murder me in my sleep. But calling Gosling's speech sexist is a big slap in the face to the millions of women who stay home to take care of their families. We should applaud them. Thank you. Yes, we should. Gosling was honoring his wife for doing very important work, just like I'm honoring his delicious abs by showing you this picture. Now that was sexist. Can I get an exclamation point, please?
If anybody called in sick who was working for me as a sign of protest for an inauguration, I would fire them.
Yeah, they got to go to work.
Yeah, you got to go to work.
Take care of your kids.
Especially if you're not doing anything, right? Am I right? You're just like staying home. That's basically playing hooky. You should be fired.
Well, wouldn't that bring the robots in, though?
Yes! This is, again, why robots are superior. Robots would never pull this crap. Yeah. Right? Am I right?
Nope.
Nobody's responding to me anymore. All right. We're going to take one last break. But first, can we play a little more Jimmy Carter?
Whenever you have a chance, say something good about
The Greg Gutfeld Show.
Thank you, and good night.
Don't forget, join me and Dana Perino for an event called Short Stories by Short People. It's Saturday, January 28th at Warner Theater in Washington. There will also be music by the great legend Larry Gatlin. You can get your tickets by going to Ticketmaster.com. Finally, tonight, Tyrus, who's now with Fox News, is still introducing himself to the Fox talent around the building, and this time he ran into the greatest one of all time. Here's the latest installment of
Come on in.
Hi, I'm Tyrus. I'm Greg Gutfeld's new Fox News contributor.
Great to see you.
You working out?
Oh, yeah.
So I would like to pick your brain on, how can I encompass some of the success you've had on the show?
Well, I start the day, I guess like most people, 6 raw eggs. I try to keep everything, really protein driven. I try to do a triathlon as soon as I can right after the high protein breakfast and just get going. And then we get to the end of the day going toward the big show, my show.
Of course.
I've got to have my mind clear. So I start doing some yoga.
Yoga?
About an hour before I start reviewing the scripts.
All right.
So,
with the exception of the yoga, I think I can do the other part.
Okay, well, I don't think you ought to, if you're going to be great, you can't skip anything.
Yes, sir.
And you can't skip a day.
All right.
That's it.
Well, I feel like I was talking to my football coach.
Well, it's a little like football. You got to have a plan and you got to execute.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Tyrus. Great to see you.
Yes, sir.
And I wish you
wow.
well. I know.
Wow.
Sometimes I forget myself. Excuse me.
Dom's man. Good luck. Yeah.
Thanks to Anthony Cumia, Carrie, Keagan, Tyrus, Katherine, and our studio audience. I'm Greg Gutfeld. I love you, America.
Mr. Tillerson, do you believe what's being said about Sarah winning The Bachelor this season?
I'm not disputing anything you're saying because I know you have access to information that I do not have.
I read the scoop in the LA Times.
Again, I'm not going to rely on solely what I read in the newspapers.
Do you think Danielle would be a better pick?
I would need to have greater information, Senator, in order to make a true determination of that.
I think you're delusional if you think Danielle is going to win over Sarah.
There seems to be some misunderstanding that somehow I see the world through a different lens, and I do not.
Don't try and beat around the bush, Rex. There's only one way to settle this debate, and that's with a staring contest. Go. Booyah! I knew you couldn't handle this.